Hello and welcome back to Bloodborne Exsanguination. On today's episode, we are going to fight the Nightmare. We're going to go back and hopefully finish up the Nightmare of Mensis. And yeah, that'll probably be this episode. We're almost actually up to the point where we can finish the game. But before we do that, I think I will do the Depth 4 chalices. Or at least attempt to. I'll do one at least, see where it gets us. And then move on to New Game Plus, where I'll do Depth 5. Yeah, should be fun. But first, we gotta put our Blood Rock to use. With our plus 10 Reiter Palash. Feels good. Don't need to repair anything. Hunter's Torch, I don't... Yeah. I think we do have some fortification to be done. So we have physical attack 18. No upgrade to triangular, but... Probably be best to put the droplet gem here. This is a huge boost to our damage. Everything else is okay. Not much we can upgrade there. Here, do we have any upgrades? Just gotta look for the blue. Alright, put that in. HP gradually depletes. No, thank you. Okay. Put that there. Thrust would be a little bit better with the rifle spear. Because I think pretty much all of its attacks in its non-transformed mode are thrust. Let's see, but we would gain 9 damage. But lose 29 overall. If it's in... we'll leave it as is. Don't know if we got any more upgrades to our... runes here. Doesn't look like it. Alright. Let's see. How many resources do we have? We're doing fine. Let's use these to level up, shall we?
Well put it. Very well, let me.
Yeah, I would like to get up to 40 skill. And then finish off fit.
Farewell, good man.
So I think our next skill will cost around like 30k. Actually higher than that. So let's use a couple of these. You can see these endgame sort of cold blood gives a lot of echoes. Is that enough?
Very well, let.
Not quite. Need one more, basically. Alright.
Welcome, what? Very well.
38. Nice, we're up to 400 damage with our attack rating with our Reiter Palash.
Farewell.
Not too shabby. Alright, let's go back to the Nightmare. To the middle of Mergo's loft. Alright. Come up here. Go to our transformed mode to deal with these guys quickly. As you can see, even though it's so short, it still has pretty wide sweeps. And pretty fast attacks. It's not too shabby at all. And the Nightmare Newborn still cries out. So these Shadows of Yharnam do not transform, and they are also much weaker than the Shadows we fought as a boss. It's interesting that we find them here in the Nightmare. You can see one up there. Not really sure what that means. Let me see the Winter Lantern down there worming around. Maybe it means that they are a creation of the Nightmare, or... well, we'll see another possible reason as to why they're here a little later. Now we're going to try to avoid this caster as he rains fire down upon us and at us. But once we get close to him, there's not much he can do. And don't think there's any items here. Nope. Okay. Wow, we have 11,111 blood echoes. That's interesting. Over here we get some more chunks, and you hear this little clumping of a pig, perhaps? Nothing we haven't dealt with before. More cries. And we can sneak up on this pig while it's taking its meal. And get him right in the butt. Get right down in there. Now, you might have noticed really quick before it dissipated that its front is sort of covered in eyes. And I sort of take this as, like, you know, you've probably heard, if any of you watch Mythbusters, they say it like every other episode, that pigs are very close, anatomically speaking, to humans. So, what I think they were doing with the... we won't go down this way just yet. Although, there's a wandering nightmare. Alright, maybe we'll get that nightmare. But yeah, they're very close anatomically to humans. So what I think is that the residents of this nightmare, or the School of Mensis, I guess, more specifically, are using the pigs to grow and harvest eyes, sort of following in Willem's footsteps, saying that he needed more eyes lining the inside of his head. So who better to grow eyes suitable for humans than pigs? Interesting little touch there. And we can see that there are more pigs. And if you can take them one at a time, that is definitely for the best. Come on. Is he gonna charge? No. You wanna charge? Nope. Oh, no, he does. Good. Ow. Okay, these guys are wrecking my shit. Yeah, if you could just calm down, that would be lovely. But yeah, now is a good opportunity to see all the eyes they're growing. But yeah, that charge attack and that sweep, it's basically their most dangerous moves. Gives us some blood vials. Here's another opportunity to see their nasty eyes. Thought I dodged that. Apparently not. Yep. Also interesting to note that those sort of insectoid things in Bergenworth, the things that cause frenzy and like, jump on your head and chow down, Those are actually called Gardens of Eyes. So, we can see that Willem was using actual people to harvest his eyes. But it looks like Mensis took a little different tact and started using pigs. And we see a lot of other shadows. An actual tactic you can use is to lead a pig over to these shadows, and it will actually damage and attack them as well as you. Let's see. Looks like we're gonna have... Oh boy. Oh boy. This is awkward. Oh, my last hit missed the other guy. Alright. Just down to 2. And that caster is really slow, so... Oh, and he even just turned around. He said, fuck it. Thought his friends had it. But no, sir. Alright, now... You can see they were heading up this way, but if you take a quick left... You can see that there's another path. We can, no, we can't sneak up on him. But we can take him out pretty quickly without this guy knowing. Especially if you come this way. If you come around from that side, where all the other shadows were, you can sneak around and get the drop on these guys. If you come back through the other way, which was where that Wandering Madness was before, that we dropped down and killed, it's a little harder to deal with those two. And yeah, this just leads back to where the Wandering Nightmare was. It's sort of a shortcut through this area, so you don't have to fight all those pigs, and you can just sort of run and then run through all the shadows. And remember that they are called Shadows of Yharnam. So, they're sort of reflections of Yharnam. Shadows of Yharnam, what once was in Yharnam. And here, oh. This woman appears to be weeping and also covered in blood. Almost as if she had like a botched cesarean. And notice her hands are bound. So she's probably not here willingly. Hair sort of done up in a bun behind her. Interesting. And she has like a veil. It's sort of like a wedding dress. It's very odd. Who was she gonna marry? But anyways, you might suspect the calls of the child are her child. And we haven't gotten there yet in the Chalice dungeons, but one of the final Chalice dungeons contains this person as a boss. This is the Thumaran Queen. And we know the ancient Thumarans created the labyrinths and catacombs underneath Yharnam. Perhaps why the Shadows of Yharnam are here as well. They were digging through... Basically, the School of Mensis, creators of this nightmare, were digging through, we're just trying to replicate and bring... It's kind of complicated. Well, not really, but basically the School of Mensis was trying to recreate these circumstances. They were digging through the past of Yharnam and deeper down to the Thumarians. They're now using this Thumarian queen, shackling her, and using her child to summon a great one. And she is not too happy about it. And here, very bizarrely, is a chest containing Yosefka's blood vial. I don't know if it means Yosefka has any attachment to the School of Mensis or anything like that. But obviously she is sort of looking and pointing you towards the summit of this place. But if you come over here, we can get this shortcut unlocked. come on through here. And yeah, we may as well put these echoes to use, so let's go back and do that. Because, as you might suspect, the summit of this place contains a boss. Alright, our little dolly has wandered off.
O Flora of the moon, of the dream. O little ones, O fleeting will of the ancients. Let the hunter be safe, let her find comfort, and let this dream, her captor, foretell a pleasant awakening. Be one day a fond, distant memory.
Wow, we finally got that dialogue. I was wondering when we would. But that's really interesting. Oh, little ones, will of the ancients. Let this hunter find comfort in her captor, this dream. Because we are pretty much captured by this dream. You know, every time we die, we just are reawakened from the dream as if nothing had happened. And she's saying she wishes us to find comfort and awakening from this dream, and for it all to be a pleasant memory. Interesting stuff.
Ah, welcome home, good hunter. I must have drifted off. What is it you desire?
What does a doll dream of?
Very well,
Alright, one more level there. And we'll just sit on this 15,000 as we make an attempt on this boss. Just make sure these guys don't come up behind us. Oh, it's gone horribly wrong. No matter. One blood vial. It's not too bad. I'm coming, baby. And we'll go up our shortcut. Come out through here. Our queen is still lamenting here. Looking upwards. And I think the moon would... Well, and I don't know if there is any moon in this nightmare, but I think she would be looking at it if it wasn't blocked by the building. Alright, let's ascend. Oh, come on. And here we see more of those seated, caged individuals. Seems like they are also dead in this nightmare as well. So how long has this nightmare been going on? And Mikolash, once you defeat him, he says he laments waking up and that he'll forget everything that happened in this dream/nightmare. But little does he know he might wake up to find himself dead. But anyway, without further ado. Little baby. Uh-oh. It's a lot of blades. And here we have Mergo's wet nurse. And for this boss, basically, it's actually pretty slow. And its attacks are pretty easy to dodge if you just dodge backwards. It's got that sort of sweeping right to left. It's got this sort of flurry, but just back off and There's not much he can do to you. Just sweep and follow up. Even 3. Alright, let's get work. Let's get to work. Ah, just got caught by the edge of that. Too slow on that. Oh wow, is it? Alright, so during this darkness, it starts summoning copies of itself, which will like sort of appear right next to you. Actually, it might not do that until it's at half health, maybe? So once you're behind him, there's nothing much it can do. Just be careful of this back sweeping attack. Sometimes it can catch you with a weird hitbox like that. Oh, there's the double. That was weird. It wasn't summoning doubles for the longest time. But basically, you can just sort of move around, avoid the doubles and the basic one's attacks, and just wait for the dark fog to dissipate. And then you're back to one-on-one, and we'll do much better with the one-on-one. And we're right behind him. That was very bizarre that doubles didn't show up. I guess they show up maybe at like 75%. Got caught by that. When it starts doing that pirouette, you can just sort of dodge towards it and to the side and behind him. You can also dodge through the, when it's doing its, sort of multi-hit spam. You just sort of get behind it. You might eat a few hits. That's dangerous. If you do get caught in that combo, don't just sort of spam roll. Wait for a moment until you're sure that your iframes will avoid the second hit. Are we really only gonna get one dark fog? Wow. That's Mergo's wet nurse. And the child falls silent. Nightmare slain. And 1/3 of an umbilical cord. So that's Mergo's wet nurse. I'll just light this, but we're not going to use it. And we get a ton of blood echoes for that. It's not really clear. Maybe the reading this last third of an umbilical cord will shed some eye. Great relic, also known as the cord of the eye. Every infant great one has this precursor to the umbilical cord. Every great one loses its child and then yearns for his surrogate. This cord granted Mensis audience with Mergo, but resulted in the stillbirth of their brains. Used to gain insight, and so they say, eyes on the inside, although no one remembers what that truly entails. So each one has a sort of different description. This one gives us a little bit more information about Mensis and Mergo. And I'm assuming it's referring to, it granted Mensis, I'm assuming it's talking about like them as a whole. Like it granted the School of Mensis audience with Mergo. And I'm guessing that's what created this nightmare. Granted Mensis audience with Mergo. And I'm guessing Mergo is the Great One that they summoned. Or made audience with. And that was Mergo's wet nurse. And a wet nurse is basically someone... A wet nurse is basically a lactating woman who's not the baby's mother, but still sort of takes care of it and feeds it. Feeds mother's milk. So yeah, that was Mergo's wet nurse taking coming to take care of the child. Not the most cuddly wet nurse, I suppose. And yeah, and it says, what does it say exactly? It granted them audience, but it resulted in the stillbirth of their brains. So, sort of like with the brain of Mensis, what we learned from the living string, the immense brain that Mensis retrieved from the nightmare was indeed lined with brains on the inside, but they were of an evil sort, and the brain itself was terribly rotten. So was that the brain that was born, like the stillbirth, from when they all came together? Perhaps. But the brain of Mensis, as the living string description says, was a true great one. It was just ill-formed. And as we come out here, she bows and disappears. As if she's thanking us for our service, for not necessarily rescuing her child, but putting it into this nightmare so that, you know, she doesn't have to hear the screams or the cries of the child anymore, of her child, supposedly, that Mensis has sort of taken and used to continually sort of try to summon this great one. So perhaps it's a nightmare she has relived over and over again. And what's this? Our poor workshop is on fire. Which is quite impressive, because the outside is mostly stone. But, you know, it's a dream. Yeah, what's going on, doll?
Good hunter, you have come. Dawn will soon break. This night and this dream will end. Gammon awaits you at the foot of the great tree.
Interesting.
Good hunter, I sense...
Okay, she doesn't say
Good
anything
hunter,
new. Nope. Well,
Farewell,
even though the workshop is on fire, its inside is blessedly saved from the flames, and you can still use all of your workshop tools. So, all right. So, I guess we should just repair, huh? Nothing more to fortify. We didn't get any new blood gems. But yeah, this is the end of the game. Our fight with, well, I say fight, but our talk with Gehrman will precipitate the end of the fight. Or the end of this game. Or at least the main game, the main storyline. Let's see. Well, I guess we should level up.
Gammon away. Go on.
He awaits us at the foot of the great tree. We're gonna get this, and some more of this. Goodbye, elite HP.
Farewell, good hunt. May you
Alright. Yeah, it's just some more housekeeping here. Let's just fill up on a bunch of stuff. Shining coins? Nah. Whatever, give me pebbles. Alright. And if we come over here, she said Gehrman awaits us at the foot of the great tree. You can see the great tree sort of through there. And this gate is finally open. But we will leave that till next time. So yeah, as always, thanks for joining me. And I will catch you all later.